Presented by Honda at the Model Clearout event. It's the best time to team up with a Honda you'll love.
Go Jays, go indeed. The Blue Jays are back at Rogers Center after a 4-5 road trip. The Tampa Bay Rays are here, and if it seems like they were just here the other day, they were. This is the third consecutive road trip they've come through Toronto. Kevin Cash is the youngest manager in the major leagues, and he is going to get a lot of votes for the manager of the year this year in the American League. The Rays are 14-3 in September. They have played the best baseball in all of the big leagues. Tommy Pham is a big part of that. His last 21 games, he's hit .388 with 4 doubles, 3 triples, and 5 home runs. And then down in that 7th spot, Kevin Kiermaier. He too has hit well over his last 13 games, nearly 400. And he told us earlier today he absolutely loves hitting in this ballpark.
And the numbers bear it out also. Look at that average over his last 13 games. They will face Sam Gaviglio, making his 22nd start of the season. Sam has pitched for St. Louis, Seattle, Kansas City Royals. The Blue Jays picked him up from the Royals right at the end of spring training this year. He has pitched much better here at home. 2 of his 3 wins have come right here at Rogers Center with a very good earned run average of .323. This is his 3rd start this season against the Rays. His only win against the Rays in his career came last season in 2017.
Gaviglio set. Malik Smith shows bunt and takes a strike, and we are underway. The roof is closed here at Rogers Center. Kind of an overcast, cloudy day outside. Malik Smith, boy, he has been a spark plug at the top of the order for Tampa Bay, batting .301 on the season. He's also chipped in with 33 stolen bases.
What a electric player at the top of the lineup for this team.
Gaviglio takes a 2-hopper right back to the mound. 1 away. Gaviglio, as Pat mentioned, making his 22nd start of the season. Coming into this game, he's thrown 108 innings. Consistency is the concern. If he gets his slider down in a way and spots that fastball, he can have a good outing.
Yeah, he's got to get all of his pitches over.
Another comebacker. 2 up, 2 down. So far, Sam Gaviglio doesn't need anybody else. 2 quick outs, tap back to the mound. In the outfield is Mckinney, Pilar, and Grichuk, and the rookie Rowdy Tellez is over at first again.
Let's look at some of those defenders. Rowdy Tellez, his 8th start over at first base. He had 107 games at first base in AAA this year, 879 innings with 879 total chances, just 5 errors. That's a .994 fielding percentage. He's a very good fielder. It doesn't look like it, but he can move around. He's got very soft hands.
Ji-Man Choi takes the first pitch for a ball. Choi's been a nice pickup for Tampa Bay for the season. He's got 10 homers and 32 RBI. Another ground ball. Richard Araneae is playing second tonight. 3 ground ball outs for Sam Gaviglio. Quick inning. 3 up, 3 down. Last night, boy, he and Carrillo were the only two Blue Jays to get hits in that game last night. They had 2 hits apiece. The Blue Jays had just 4 in the game. Mckinney's top of the order, then right behind him, Lourdes Carrillo. He has hit well against the American League East, and that's a good sign going forward. .288 average with 4 doubles, 2 homers, and 11 ribbies. And Rowdy Tellez, he's over at first base, batting 5th tonight. 8 of his 13 hits have gone for extra bases, 7 doubles, and a home run so far for Tellez.
This is Ryne Stanek, the 50th time the Rays have used an opener this year, and the 27th time they have used Stanek in this role. The big right-hander is 2-3 overall with a .249 earned run average.
Billy McKinney goes after that first pitch. Pat, you talked about McKinney slumping a bit, but it seems as though he's changed his approach, got back to what he was doing when he first came up.
And that is get on the fastball. It's like he was overthinking himself at times, thinking that they're going to throw him a lot of breaking balls, and it was really messing up his timing. Says, I got to get back on that fastball, and it's a lot easier to adjust to the breaking ball if you're looking for the fastball. If you're looking for the breaking ball and they throw you a fastball, it's much tougher. Then everything starts to speed up, and I think that's what was happening to him.
Got himself in a bit of a jam when he was playing the Yankees, trying to outsmart himself. 1-1 pitch. There's a fastball hit to the first baseman. Jake Bauers can pick it over at first. Let's take a look at the rest of the defense. It's Pham, Kiermaier, and Smith in the outfield. They've got a very good outfielder, but boy, do they have a super player in Joey Wendle.
Yeah, the Rays really didn't know what kind of defensive player he was when they acquired him from Oakland. Kevin Cash was talking that he has had to learn on the fly to play different positions, and they have found out that he is a heck of a defensive player. He's going to play shortstop tonight, but we've seen him at third, we've seen him at second, we've seen him in the corner outfielders. He has really blossomed into a good player.
Here is Lourdes Carrillo Jr. He takes one upstairs. I mentioned Gurriel and McKinney. They had all the hits for the Blue Jays in the game last night. They each had a pair of hits. The Blue Jays had their 14-game doubles streak snapped last night. They had hit doubles in 14 consecutive games until Baltimore shut them down.
Well, they better get their hitting shoes back on, because the Tampa Bay Rays pitching staff have been tough on the Jays this year, and they've been tough on everybody in the American League since they moved to that opener spot. Ryne Stanek, this shows you the kind of staff that they have. He pitched in the 9th inning versus the Rangers on Tuesday.
Ground ball to the shortstop. There is Joey Wendle. 2 up, 2 down quickly for Stanek.
He last started versus Oakland, pitching a scoreless inning there, so they've been using him a lot. He's made 25 relief appearances in 25 starts.
Dave gripping that baseball in that split finger grip. He'll throw a splitter, a hard slider. He's only thrown 6 pitches, so he might get more than 1 inning. Now, there's an equipment change out there in the outfield. That was kind of interesting. You see,
it's 4 outfielders.
They've got 4 outfielders. That's what they've done.
That's what it is.
That was interesting. We'll talk about that. You see the defense, 3 infielders and 4 outfielders for Justin Smoak.
What happened, Brandon Lau has started this game at second base, but with Justin Smoak, they have gone to 4 outfielders, so he didn't have an outfielder's glove. He ran out to the bullpen and got an outfielder's glove.
Well, they knew this was going to happen because they had his outfielder's glove out there. So Kevin Cash taking a page out of Joe Madden's book. Madden did this against David Ortiz in Boston.
There is absolutely no one on the left side of the infield for Smokey. 3 infielders on the right side of the infield, 4 outfielders against Smoak.
First time we've seen this year.
Something like this. I know Minnesota tried 4 outfielders against Smokey.
That strike 3 call, and he knew it. Boy, quick inning for Stanek. He throws 9 pitches and retires the side in order. Go score after an inning. Kevin Cash with the tricks. second base and played there for the first 2 outs of the inning. Then Justin Smoak came to the plate and Lau moved to the outfield, and because of that he had an outfielder's glove there. This is after Smoak struck out. He went back and got his infielder's glove and flipped the outfielder's glove back to the bullpen.
They have so many players that are interchangeable. Now they're interchanging gloves right during the inning.
Obviously that was a plan before the game because he had his glove out there in the bullpen. He knew that he was going to go out there on Smoak. Sam Gaviglio, another comebacker. That's 3 of the 4 outs have been hit right back to the pitcher. All 4 outs have been on the ground. Gaviglio's only thrown 6 pitches in this game. He's got 4 outs. I like the ratio.
Yeah, when his pitches are working, and they're working so far 4 batters into this ball game, he'll get his share of ground ball outs. It's a team, the Tampa Bay Rays, it's built on having good at bats. Chad Mottola was telling us before the ball game about having good at bats, and if you have good at bats, competitive at bats, your on base percentage is going to go up.
And there was a time, of course, in the Moneyball era where everybody thought you could generate on base percentage. Good hitters have good on base percentages because they have awareness of the strike zone. Pitchers pitch them tough, and they won't swing at a lot of bad pitches.
You can't go up there saying, okay, I'm going to work the pitcher here and I'm going to get a walk and I'm going to try and see 7 pitches. That's impossible. Somebody's going to pick up on that and start throwing fastballs right down the middle. Chad was saying that good on base percentages. Now, here's another comeback. This is unbelievable. It's because of good at bats, you're going to have a good on base percentage.
How about that? You can see Gaviglio smiling about it. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen so frequently. That's 4 of the 5 outs have been right back to the pitcher. Weak contact.
Tells me that fastball's got movement to these lefties, and they've stacked a lot of left-handed batters against Sam Gaviglio. That fastball is really diving.
7 of the 9 hitters are lefties tonight. This is Brandon Lau. Lau's a second baseman who played right field for an out. 33 games so far this season, batting .240. Another ground ball. Gaviglio's got it working early in this game. 6 up, 6 down, all on the ground. Sam Gaviglio's got that fastball sinking. On the field because the other 3 umpires have gone into the umpires locker room to change their equipment. Their equipment was late arriving here to the ballpark, so they had tennis shoes on, and now they've gone inside to change. So while they get changed and get their regular gear on, we'll send it down to Arash Madani.
Well, irregular is one way. So many around baseball, Buck, believe the Tampa Rays go about it with their rotation. This is the 50th time that Tampa has gone with the opener, using a reliever for the first 1 or 2 innings and then changing the arm from there. Many across baseball are not big fans of it, but unapologetic on the Tampa side, and much of the clubhouse have been players and people with the coaching staff and the front office because that system is working. Now, Tampa manager Kevin Cash put it this way. He said, "We believe it has made some of our players better, but especially that it has made some of our young pitchers better." On the Blue Jays side, John Gibbons and Pete Walker aren't big fans about going about it this way, preferring having the traditional 5 strong starters, but each admitted it's working for Tampa. The game is evolving and many aren't fans of this Rays method, but they have had success with it. Buck?
They sure are having success with it, and the players have bought into it. And Ryan Stanning's back out for the 2nd inning. But since they started using the quote-unquote opener, Sergio Romo was the first opener for Tampa Bay back on May 19th. And the results, you can't argue with the results.
Best ERA. How about that in the American League? And they have thrust themselves right into that wild card picture. Astros, Athletic, Indians, and Red Sox. All of those teams are going to probably go to the playoffs this year, but the Rays, they've played 109 games since May 19th. 50 of them, so almost half of them, have been started with the opener. And I think that's out of necessity, number one, but now it's starting to grow, and it's starting to catch on. There are other teams now who are starting to think like that. If we don't have an established pitcher like a Blake Snell or somebody like that who have done it before in the past, let's try this thing. And this is all about having that closer, if you will, at the beginning, and then bring in your regular pitcher who'll throw you 5 or 6 innings, and they face the bottom of the order 3 times instead of twice.
Andy Fletcher's still the only umpire on the field because the other 3 umpires were made aware that their equipment is inside. That is Jeff Nelson, the crew chief. He led the umpires indoors, and you can see they're wearing tennis shoes. Laz Diaz will go in and get his regular umpiring shoes on. So the umpire's equipment was delayed arriving here at Rogers Center, so we still got some time. You know, you go back to spring training. Nathan Eovaldi had elbow chips in spring training removed from his elbow, so he was scheduled to be one of the starters for Tampa Bay. He was later on, of course, traded to Boston. Brett Honeywell, another young pitcher, had Tommy John surgery, so it was somewhat out of necessity, but now it has worked so well, I think they're very comfortable with it.
It'll be interesting to see next year if they have 5 healthy starters, if they stay with this way of doing things, starting with a reliever. Stanek looks like a closer to me, a big, strong guy who throws 98 miles an hour. You give him an inning or 2. If they have 5 starters next year and still do this and have their starter pitch like the 2nd through the 6th or the 3rd through the 7th, then they've really bought into it.
So now we are set. Randall Grichuk hitting cleanup will start things off. There's that high fastball. Well, they got a book on Grichuk. They have really pitched him up with that fastball. And his challenge is to lay off that pitch. Make sure that he doesn't chase that borderline fastball upstairs.
Especially if it's 97 or 98 miles an hour like Stanek can throw it.
That's a fair ball. Just inside the bag at 3rd, and the fan did not touch it, according to the umpire, Sean Barber. So Grichuk's at 2nd with the first hit of the ball game. It's a double. We mentioned the Blue Jays had their 14-game streak snapped at 14 straight games with a double. Grichuk hits his 29th of the season.
So why not start right away, first batter in the 2nd inning? It's going to be interesting to see this inning here with Stanek. I mean, he breezed right through the Blue Jays in the 1st inning, came out, did his warm-up tosses, and then had to wait for the umpires. I wonder if that might mess up his timing just a little bit on the mound. So far, first batter of this inning is a double.
Now, it's interesting. The umpires are having a little bit of a conference. That ball hit the base down at 3rd base. It hit the base. Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, called the umpires over, and I don't know what the question was. We saw the fans reach for it, but it appeared as though neither one of them touched it. So whatever it was, they have resolved it. Now something's out on the field that Bat Boy will have to retrieve. Andy Fletcher's noticed something behind home plate. Oh, it's that weighted sleeve that they use to swing on the on-deck circle. Okay, now we're set. Grichuk at 2nd base with a leadoff double. Here's Rowdy Tellez. He's got 7 doubles already this season and a home run. Bringing a drive. Get up, ball. Get up, ball. Get out of here. And gone. Rowdy Tellez. Home run number 2.
some of the Tampa Bay people today, and I said, you know anything about Rowdy Tellez? And they go, oh yeah, we remember Rowdy Tellez. The first pitch in the big leagues, he hit for a double against our team. Well, the first pitch he sees tonight, he unloads for his second home run, and that was a bomb to right center field. It bears watching. Again, to say it again, Stanek breezed through the Blue Jays in the first inning, and now 3 pitches into this inning, he's down 2-0.
Yeah, he had to wait for the umpires while they changed equipment, but Grichuk doubles and Tellez homers. 2-0 Blue Jays. Well, that's a pretty swing from Rowdy Tellez.
Yeah, he's thinking about possibly pulling that ball. It's an off-speed pitch, and look at the finish. That's what I like. Home run hitters have that one-handed finish where you just go through the baseball, and he knew he got it.
Pilar goes around, another look at the Tellez home run.
Both of his home runs have been no doubters here at Rogers Center. That is a bomb to right center.
Kevin Pilar with a 1-1 count. Goes after that slider in the dirt. Now it's 1-2. Kevin for the season hitting .246. He set a new high with 38 doubles this year. Danny Jansen going over the scouting report with Brooke Jacoby. Stanek will throw that slider to righties and use the splitter against the lefties.
You can see him already setting it in his hand to possibly use it. Yanni Chirinos getting ready.
1-2 to Pilar. Base hit to left field. Tommy Pham gets over to cut it off. 3 hits in a row. Boy, you made a good point, Pat. Maybe that long delay really created problems for Stanek, because the umpires before the start of this inning went inside and changed, and that's it. Kyle Snyder said that Chirinos is ready, so Cash won't wait any longer. So after a terrific first inning, Stanek runs into trouble. Grichuk doubled, Tellez homered, now Pilar has singled, so Ryan Stanek is out of the game. Here comes Yanni Chirinos. He will be the primary pitcher, facing a good fastball hitter in Diaz. The opener, a little frustrated by the way the second inning developed. Grichuk doubled, Tellez homered, Kevin Pilar singled, and now Yanni Chirinos. Chirinos is kind of interesting. He's the first pitcher since Baseball Reference data is available back to 1908 to go at least 5 innings in 8 consecutive appearances, all of them out of the bullpen.
Last time the Blue Jays saw him, he followed up Ryan Stanek's perfect inning back on September the 3rd with 7 really good innings of his own. 4 hits and just 1 earned run allowed against the Blue Jays. The Rays ended up winning that game 7-1. This game, he finds himself behind.
He's got a good sinking fastball. He gets ahead of Diaz with that first pitch fastball. Breaking ball hit on the ground. Duffy goes across the diamond in time to get Diaz. Pilar moves up to second. 1 away now.
Well, I think what the Blue Jays are going to have to do against Chirinos is make him get the ball up. When that fastball is diving, he'll throw a ton of ground ball outs. It's basically fastball slider. That'll be 84% of the pitches that he throws. Fastball slider. He'll throw a splitter also when he's got that thing working. It's tough to get that ball in the air against him. He's got one of the lowest opponent's OPS of any single pitch in this month of September. That's his slider. They're hitting $114 against him.
There's a slider for a strike. Danny Jansen, the catcher. Jansen 3 for 15 on the road trip, but one of those 3 hits was a home run. He homered in Baltimore. His second big league homer. Ground ball to third. Pilar will hold at second as Jansen is retired. There's that good sinking fastball from Chirinos. Gets him 2 quick outs.
Yeah, make him get it up and make him get it out over the plate. He was dealing against the Blue Jays back on the 3rd. 7 innings. He did have 3 walks. Remember, he came in and he walked the first 2 batters, and it looked like his night was going to be short. But he found it and just cruised through 7 innings.
Richard Araneae, the number 9 hitter, playing at second base tonight. Goes after the first pitch and fouls it out of play. In that outing for Chirinos right here at Rogers Center, you're right. He struggled to walk the first 2, and they got the bullpen up. That might have been a wake-up call for him as he sorted things out quickly. Might have been one of his most dominant outings of the season.
Yeah, 7 innings for sure, which is a season high for him.
There's that hard slider. Breaking ball in the dirt. 0-2. Not a bad number for Araneae, batting with runners in scoring position, hitting .294 for the senior. Araneae is making his 7th start at second. He's also started 11 games at shortstop. Ball in the dirt. There's the throw to first to complete the strikeout. Nice job by Chirinos. But how about Grichuk and Tellez getting the Blue Jays off to a fast start? Randall Grichuk with a leadoff double. Rowdy Tellez right behind him. A 2-run home run. 2-0 Blue Jays.
open for Jays Care's 2019 Field of Dreams granting cycle. Last year alone, Jays Care invested $1.4 million in 16 projects refurbishing sport and recreation facilities for Canadian kids. So if you're involved with a youth organization and are interested in applying for a grant, visit jayscare.com/Field of Dreams to apply today. What a terrific project, Buck.
Boy, it sure is. Anytime you can get kids playing baseball, that's a good thing. Kevin Pillar turns around, waits for this ball to come down, and it does. Kevin Kiermaier flies out to his counterpart in center. His first out in the air.
First one that wasn't a ground ball to somebody in the infield or Sam Gaviglio. 4 of them already he has made. Tells me that that fastball's moving. It's got a lot of late movement on it. They're just not picking it up. Keep it going. His home ERA is so much better than on the road. His road ERA is approaching 8. It's just over 3 here at Rogers Center.
It's really interesting, too, because this is a hitter's ballpark. There's no getting around it. Everybody talks about how much they like to hit in this ballpark, but he has pitched very well here. This is Jake Bauers, the young first baseman for Tampa Bay. Bauers just turned 23, and you can see they play him to Poole. Having a little bit of a tough start to his big league career.
Yeah, we saw him earlier in the year down at Tropicana Field, and he hit everything the Blue Jays threw at him. But then when they came up here, didn't have a very good series here at Rogers Center the last time we saw him. And there it is. 0
for 18 with 7 punch outs. That slider missed upstairs. 3-1 now. 2-0 Blue Jays, top of the third. There's the first base runner for Tampa Bay. A 1-out walk here in the third.
The 2018 Honda CR-V, where style and versatility come together.
Winding down your last chance to think about Christmas gifts, folks. It's the last homestand of the season for the Blue Jays. Tampa Bay's here for 4, and then the Houston Astros will be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon. This is the catcher, Nick Schofel. Schufo came up with the Rays, and we saw him play first time last trip they were in town. There goes the runner. They start the runner, and Schufo fouls it off.
Boy, that's being very aware for a young player. You mentioned Schufo just came to the big leagues. The last time they were here, they were playing hit and run, and it was the shortstop who was covering. But watch the swing. Watch how he inside outside. He's trying to hit the ball right where that shortstop would have been. Gurriel was the defender heading to second base, trying to shoot that hole.
Popped up again. Schufel made that debut on September 3rd right here at Rogers Center. See his numbers for his minor league career. He's a very good catcher. Does a nice job behind the plate. Pitchers like to throw to him.
How about one of those ground balls now? That seems like that's all Sam has been throwing so far tonight. Get another grounder right here and get out of this inning.
Inching his way off first base, now out to 12 feet. Not running. Pulled foul.
I think if you're Kevin Cash, I think all you have to do is you have to pay attention and you have to see what Gaviglio's throwing and what his hitters have done now first time through the lineup here. I think that's why he sent that runner over at first base early this count to stay out of a double play. give his offense a chance. Get a runner into scoring position. He's seeing all the ground balls off the bats of his hitters, trying to mix things up.
Not running here. Ground ball. Araneae will have to go to first base. The ball took him toward first base. He didn't have a chance to go back behind him and get the lead runner, so now there are 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Another ground ball out for Gaviglio. Back to the top of the order. Malik Smith, he grounded back to the pitcher. Two outs, Blue Jays with a 2-0 lead. Gaviglio has already had 4 assists in this game, 4 comebackers. That ties Marcus Stroman for the most by a Blue Jays pitcher this season. That happened on July 10th against the Braves. The most this season in the majors is 6. Eric Skoglund of Kansas City had 6 against none other than Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, lots of comebackers. First time the Rays have had a runner out at second base, so Danny Jansen and Sam Gaviglio is trying to get their signals together on what they want to use here.
Of course, a big series going on in New York. Masahiro Tanaka and Eduardo Rodriguez, the pitchers in that game. Boston has scored a run in the top of the first. Guess who drove in the run?
For Boston, probably Martinez, J.D. Martinez. That's my guess.
124 ribbies for J.D. Martinez.
Wow.
What a season. Boston is still trying to clinch the division. New York has taken the first 2 games of that 3-game series. Bowers takes the lead at second. Here's the 1-0 pitch, foul back.
The Rays come into this game a very hot team offensively. They've won their last 5 games. They've been averaging almost 6 runs a game over those last 5 games. They've also hit 8 home runs, hit 326 as a team. So what Gaviglio is doing right now, very impressive against a team that's been playing a good offensive game lately.
There's a good slider from Gaviglio. 1-2 now to Smith. And he talked to the Rays players as we did prior to this game, and they've got their focus on wild card. Of course, they haven't seen that score yet, probably. By now they may have. Oakland beat the Angels 21-3 earlier today. Little chopper behind home plate.
What was that? The Raiders and the Rams, 21-3.
Love to score 21 points. Here's the AL wild card picture as we speak. The Yankees have a 2-game cushion over Oakland. Tampa Bay now 6-back with that A's win earlier. But they have the Yankees. They play the Yankees 3-game series.
Yeah, Kevin says, he goes, we're going to need some help. We know that. We just have to take care of our business, but we're going to need somebody to beat these teams ahead of us.
Popped up down the left field line. Long run from Mckinney. Gets there and makes the catch in fair territory. Sam Gaviglio gives up the first base runner, but the Rays strand him in scoring position. 2-0 Set to bat in the bottom of the third, and it'll be Billy Mckinney, one of the rookies, leading off, followed by Gurriel right behind him. The Blue Jays have used 24 rookies this season, including Danny Jansen and Reese McGuire. Brian Borucki, Joey Wendell of the Rays is another rookie that has made his season debut, as has Jake Bauers over at first base. The Rays are young. They've got a lot of good young athletes all across the diamond.
Remember all the changes that they made?
McKinney drives this one to left field. Tommy Pham backing up a few steps makes the catch.
They made all the changes, and they're saying, oh, they're tanking their season. They're not going to do anything. They got off to a rough start. But here they are right in the thick of a pennant race, if you ask me. They have an outstanding chance to catch the Oakland A's. But everybody thought they were tanking when they were getting rid of all the players they did in the offseason, like Evan Longoria and Corey Dickerson.
I misspoke. Tampa Bay has 4 games against the Yankees. Here's the shift for Gurriel.
Chirino should have thrown that ball.
Yeah, the umpire didn't look like he was calling timeout. Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, very late timeout call. Chirinos was almost through his delivery. There's a fastball that misses at 95.
Yeah, you don't have to stop your delivery. The umpire has to raise his arms to call a strike or call timeout, which he never did when Gurriel stepped out. So that would have been a free pitch for Chirinos.
Fastball upstairs. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Justin Smoak is on deck. Gurriel grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Chirinos on in relief after Ryan Stanek gave up a couple of runs on 3 hits in the second, and that's some kind of sinker right there. 95 miles an hour. Second strikeout for Chirinos.
With some serious downward movement.
And once again with Smoak coming to the plate. 2 outs and nobody on. The Rays have gone into their 4-man outfield.
Yeah, we're going to show you the shifting around. StatCast AI is powered by AWS. 3 infielders on the right side, 4 outfielders against Justin Smoak. He can do whatever he wants here. He can bunt if he wants to.
Yeah. And you know what? There's no reason not to. Square around. Rocco Baldelli is a first base coach and the outfield coach, and I'm sure he's had some discussions about the responsibilities for a 4-man outfield. Smoak squares and pulls the bat back. I mean, all you got to do is make contact, and you don't even have to make it a great bunt. Just get it past the pitcher.
And the Rays are saying, okay, we'll give you that. If you want to do that, we're going to give that to you. I mean, they weren't even moving. I mean, even when he was squared around, nobody moved. They're saying, okay, you know, we'd rather keep you at first base than give you a shot at knocking one over the fence.
Well, he's got a lot of life on that fastball, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. That last 3-2 pitch to Gurriel was nasty. Quick pitch.
Yeah, he's been very quick unloading the pitches when he gets a sign. He didn't waste any time. And the Grichuk doubled right off the third base bag his first time up. And he scored on Rowdy Tellez's 2-run home run. Smoak takes another walk. A 2-out walk issued to Justin Smoak. He extends his career high in base on balls. He's got quite an eye. Early in the season, they weren't pitching to him at all. And here comes Brandon Lau back onto the infield now.
Tell you what, he's going to be getting his sprints in tonight. Getting a lot of work. Infield, outfield, shifting over, shifting back.
Grichuk's double came off Ryan Stanek. It was a leadoff double in the second. Smoak now has drawn 82 walks this season. That's a career high for Smokey. He checked his swing, and according to first base umpire, went around.
Rays have done a good job the last few years of developing some pretty good pitchers. A lot of young kids have come up through their farm system, and it seems like they all throw 95 plus.
Broken bat, little chopper back to the mound. Chirinos gets to his feet, throws Grichuk. Blue Jays get a 2-out walk, and Lieberman will go to the 4th. Jays have a 2-0 lead.
The MLB Ballpark app, you can access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. The Blue Jays in rebuild mode, so too are the Florida Marlins. Elsewhere in baseball today, Derek Jeter saying Don Mattingly will return as manager in Miami next season. Guys?
Well, yeah, Don Mattingly isn't the guy that traded all those great players. Now, let's do a do-over, okay? I got Ozuna, Yelich, and Stanton. I'm still a pretty good manager. How about the years Yelich has had?
Justin Bour too traded also. Yeah, how about Yelich? He's got to get some votes for MVP, no?
Christian Yelich leading the National League in hitting at .319. Sam Gaviglio working here in the 4th. He is quickly ahead of Matt Duffy, the 3rd baseman, 0-2. Gaviglio recorded all 6 of the first outs on the ground, including 4 comebackers right to the mound. Coming inside, missed out over the plate. There's a base hit for Duffy. That's the first hit for Tampa Bay. A leadoff single.
Hurry into Home Hardware's kitchen event, on now until October 9th. Here's how.
Roof is closed here at Rogers Center tonight. It's a little cloudy outside, possibility of rain. G-Man Choi grounded out the second, his first time.
It's a team that's been very aggressive offensively in the early parts of this game. They're not sitting there looking for walks. I think they're having good at bats because they know Gaviglio is going to be around the plate.
You know, you mentioned the hitting coach, Chad Mottola, talking about wanting his hitters to have good at bats. And we asked him, does that mean hitting the ball to all fields? He said, no, just having a grind out at bat. When you get 2 strikes, don't give in. Make that pitcher work. Don't be an easy out.
I think that is so true, that you just can't give away at bats. Every one of them is precious. And that doesn't mean you're not going to swing until you get the 2 strikes. Sam's been around the plate. He's been very aggressive with his fastball. He's been aggressive in the strike zone, especially early in the count. So I think that's why you're seeing the Rays hitters swing early, because that's the best pitch they're seeing so far.
Well, there's a good slider. Troy swings right over the top of it.
He's trying to hook that ball to right field. Watching that swing right there, Tellez is holding the runner on at first base, Duffy. He's trying to hit that hole you see right there on the right side of your screen. Catch something out in front. Try to send Duffy to third base. It's an interesting defense how they are giving him the whole left side of the infield, basically down the left field line. They are really pinching the middle. Look at Diaz, the third baseman. They're pitching the middle. Now what that does, that allows Gurriel to move a little bit closer to the bag. Their scouting reports say that Choi hits a lot of balls through the middle. So they're trying to take that away.
The Rays had a hit and run back in the 3rd inning. Jake Bowers was at first after the walk, and then Schufo fouled the ball off on a hit and run. 2-2 pitch. Duffy's not running. Pitch inside. Now it's a full count.
Bet you he runs now.
Because all the ground balls, you would think they would start the run. That's Tommy Pham on deck of bat next. Duffy with the first hit of the ballgame off of Gaviglio.
And he can run. He's got 11 stolen bases. But this is a situation where you want to run to stay out of that double play. Look at the infielders, every one of them in your screen.
There goes the runner. Cut on and miss. The throw from Jansen is right on the bag, but not in time. Very accurate throw by Danny Jansen. Right on top of the bag, but Duffy picks up his 12th stolen base of the season.
They have been working with the catchers, catch and release. Be accurate with your throws. Try and stop that running game. The Rays have 113 steals coming into this game. Good throw. It's right there, but a good jump. Too good of a jump for Duffy at first base.
Joy strikes out. That's the first strikeout of the game, and Blue Jays are going to look at it. Boy, it didn't look like it was close from what we saw. Jansen made a nice throw, got rid of it quickly, but Duffy got a good jump. Jansen's only caught 15% of the base runners.
From that replay that we saw there, that close-up replay, it looked like the foot was in there. Gurriel held the tag on there thinking he came off the base. You tell me, did he come off the base? He's on. There's the tag. I don't think he ever came off. His foot is still up against the bag. It's not on it, but it's up against it, which is still legal. There's the tag.
Yeah, that's a clear-cut view right there. His foot is on the base, and then Gurriel puts the tag on him when he's coming up. Never lost contact with second base.
Never lost contact. They thought maybe he had a pop-up slide, but Duffy did a good job of keeping engaged on that base. Not enough there to overturn it.
Kevin Cash waiting for the decision, and the crew chief will make the final call. And it's safe as we expected, so it will be the 12th stolen base of the season for Matt Duffy. He's in scoring position now. It was a curious time to challenge that call. I mean, it was just a stolen base. Didn't look like it was that close to begin with.
Yeah, you have to have conclusive evidence to overturn that. It just didn't look like there was enough there.
Tommy Pham, the left fielder.
I think Sam's got to give Matt Duffy a couple of looks now down at second base. He gave him one look, and Duffy got a huge secondary lead against him.
Offered it that slider, not according to the first base umpire. Tommy Pham has been a terrific addition to this Rays lineup. The Rays are 22-6 with him in the starting lineup since he came over from St. Louis. Duffy can run. He's a very good base runner. Boy, he gets a great secondary lead, doesn't he? I mean, that's classic, how he's bouncing off the base. He gets a nice lead to begin with, but boy, he bounces off a couple different times.
That's why I think he's got to give him a couple of looks right here. One look, and now watch the secondary lead. 3 big shuffles, and he's way out there. And he's landing on his right foot where you want to land. You can go back to the bag if you have to, or you can just keep on going to third base if he hits it. Fundamentals of baseball, sometimes it's lost nowadays.
Yeah, and you don't see teams practicing these things very often, and certainly you want to set that foundation in spring training. But Kevin Cash, although he's the youngest manager in the majors, they do a lot of things right. He's got a great coaching staff. Charlie Montoyo on his right is the bench coach. Rocco Bardelli, we mentioned him, he's the first base coach. Check that, he's not the first base coach this year, he's the outfield coach. Fly ball, center field. Pilar's on the run at the track, at the wall. It's off the fence. Duffy's around third. He's going to score. Pham is headed for third. He'll get there standing up with an RBI triple. His 4th triple of the season. And the Rays are on the board.
You know, Tommy Pham came over here, had a great year last year for St. Louis. They made a couple of changes with his hand position, and they gave him some information about what his strengths are, and he's just taken off. This ball is drilled to right center field. Duffy's going to score easily. And when the ball gets away from Pilar in center field as he tries aggressively to make that catch and then keep the ball in front of him, but unfortunately kicks it away. That sends Pham to third base, and now it's got to bring the infield in.
There you see the drawn in infield for Joey Wendell. 1 out. First pitch strike. 2-1 ball game. Wendell had it batting .301 for the season. Fly ball right field. That's going to score a run and maybe go out, and it's off the wall. Joey Wendell hustles into second base. Pham comes in to score the tying run, and just like that, it's a 2-2 game.
Single, double, triple, and a stolen base has tied this game up. Wendell, he has really shown that he belongs in the major leagues. He can hit. He hits the ball all over the place to all fields, and when he's got a runner at third base, he's thinking about getting the ball in the air. Sinking fastball. Earlier in the game, that ball was down, and they were hitting it out in front of home plate in the dirt. This one's elevated just a little bit. Hits it over Gritch's head for extra bases. Randall does a good job of setting himself up to try and get him at second base, but Wendell's too fast.
Wendell's 28 years old. He got a late start to his career, but boy, he's making the most of his time here with Tampa Bay. Playing his 130th game this season. 2-2 ball game. Brandon Lau, the second baseman. Second baseman / right fielder.
Tonight.
He's played right field in both of these Smoak at bats tonight. Moving from second to the outfield in a 4-man outfield.
He started the game against the Blue Jays in left field here.
It's a high pop-up on the infield. Araneae, the second baseman, calls for it. Lau's retired. 2 away. Well, no problems first time through the order for Sam Gaviglio, but boy, the second time, this is the problem he's had all season long. The Rays have gotten to him here in the 4th. Single, triple, double. They've tied it up at 2-2, and that's been the case all season long.
Yeah, that's the batting average, and he gets it back on track the third time through as Jose Fernandez is starting to warm up. The slugging percentage goes up also each time through the lineup.
7 lefties in the Rays lineup, so Fernandez is the first one loosening up. Kevin Kiermaier hit a deep fly ball to center field, his first time up. Identical line scores so far. 2 runs on 3 hits for each ball club. Nobody has committed an error. Jansen with a good block on that pitch in the dirt.
You know, they've got stats for everything. We just showed you the opponent's batting average against Sam, first time, second time, third time through. They even have stats for ground ball percentage, first, second, and third time through. And for him, his ground ball percentage goes down the longer he stays into the game. I don't know if that's because he gets tired and the ball elevates, but his ground ball percentage was awesome first time through the lineup tonight. Second time through, they're starting to get the ball in the air just a little bit more.
The first outs were all recorded on the ground. First 6 outs. 6 up, 6 down to start the game. He, in fact, retired 7 in a row. Tommy Pham with an RBI triple, his 4th triple of the season. After Kiermaier, 3 more lefties in a row. Bowers, Schufo, and Malik Smith, the leadoff man. Three balls and a strike to Kevin Kiermaier. Line drive to right. Grichuk comes in and makes a nice running catch. Kiermaier hit it hard, but right to the right fielder. But the Rays have tied it up here in the top of the 4th. 2 runs on 3 hits. RBI triple and an RBI double.
Of 31 Thoughts, the podcast that's presented by GMC. There you'll get insider analysis and opinion covering the world of hockey from the industry's best. Available now wherever you get your podcasts. 31 Thoughts, where Erik Karlsson today had his first practice with the San Jose Sharks. Guys?
Well, lots coming up with the NHL hockey. Preseason's underway. Regular season not that far away. Rowdy Tellez goes after the first pitch. He homered on the first pitch in his previous at-bat. This time he flies out to left fielder. One away. Kevin Pillar had a single. He actually knocked Ryan Stanek out of the game. That was a 3rd consecutive hit. Stanek surrendered into second, and that knocked him out of the game. Pillar had a sharp single to left. Upstairs.
Gotta like what you see from Yonny Chirinos. He's been up and down a couple of times this year with Tampa Bay. One of them because he was on the disabled list. Spent some time on the DL with a right forearm strain earlier this year, but he began this season with 14 out of third innings scoreless streak. That's the longest ever by a Ray to begin his career.
Ball is bounced foul outside of third off the bat of Kevin Pillar.
But he's usually in this position right here where first inning or two is taken over by the opener. He then comes in and goes through the middle of the game. You know, a lot like Yarbrough. How about that? Ryan Yarbrough's got 15 wins out of the bullpen.
15-5 with a 388 earned run average. Then Miss Diaz will bat next. Pillar stays alive.
You still have to pitch effectively. Not just because you're pitching from the second to the seventh doesn't mean you're automatically going to win or pick up a lot of wins. You have to pitch effectively, and those guys have pitched effectively.
Broken bat, grounder to short. That's Joey Wendell. Pillar's retired, 2 away.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
Miss Diaz was the first batter Chirinos faced when he entered the ball game. Back in the second, he grounded out to the third baseman. Pops this one back over the screen, out of play. Ball and a strike to the third baseman.
He's varying his delivery to home plate. Sometimes he has a high leg kick and hesitates. Sometimes he quick pitches. Sometimes he just goes from right there.
Popped up again. Back over the screen. Schufo gives it a look, but it's out of play.
The whole reason he's doing that is just to upset the timing of those hitters. Quick pitch sometimes and hesitate at times, and it just messes with the timing.
Blue Jays scored first. They got a 2-run home run from Rowdy Tellez in the second. Rays tied it up. There's a base hit to left field in front of Tommy Pham. Diaz with a 2-strike base hit. That's the first hit off of Chirinos.
Trying to bury that ball in on his hands. It took a little something off of it. That's his splitter. Doesn't throw a lot of splitters to right-handers. Tries to bury it inside, but Aledmez is a little bit too quick. Catches that one out in front.
Just missed downstairs with a first pitch fastball. Danny Jansen, the catcher. He grounded out third base his first time up. Very difficult to tell between the slider and the splitter for Chirinos. They're both about the same velocity. 87, 88 miles an hour. His fastball will get up there to about 94 on average. He'll cut it loose once in a while and touch 96, 97. Jammed in a little roller back to the mound. Jansen's retired. So Diaz gets a 2-out hit and the Blue Jays strand a runner. It's 2-2. We'll head to the fifth. Time now for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddall in the Samsung broadcast studio. dramatic turnaround from their 3-12 start. Since then, they've gone 82-54, and over the last 28 games, they've improved on that.
Well, 23-5, that's the best in Major League Baseball. They also have a Major League best 266 earned run average and winning 23 of their last 28 games. Opponents are hitting .214 against them, and they're 12 for 13 in save opportunities. Kevin Cash has gotten a hold of this, and they take all the numbers and they take all the players and he plugs them all in, and it has worked since that rough start at the beginning of this season. They played a lot of games on the road at the beginning of the year. A lot of games, more games than anybody. And now they're starting to play in the second half more games at home, and they're playing really well.
Jake Bauers, the first baseman. First pitch upstairs, a breaking ball. Bauers was the first Ray to reach base tonight. He walked with one out in the third. Carrillo had retired 7 in a row. They expect Bauers to pull the ball on the ground. 3-0. Nick Schufo is on deck, the catcher in the 9th spot. Bauers takes a strike.
Right away after that 3-0 count, Jose Fernandez back up again. 2 straight innings. That shouldn't take him that long to get loose now.
Line to right to Tellez at first base. 1 away. Johnny Tellez, we know what he can do with the bat, and as Pat mentioned earlier, he's a pretty good defender.
Yeah,
he's
just
a big young guy, but he can move around.
5 errors all year in AAA. A .994 fielding percentage. I talked to Bobby Meacham, who is here, who was his manager in AAA this year, and I asked him about how he did at first base, and he said he might have missed 2 balls all year in the dirt. Where you pick it, those short hops over to first base, maybe 2.
Ball on a strike to the catcher. Schufo, he grounded out to second base, his only time up. 2-2 ball game. We're in the 5th inning. 1 out. Just off the plate. Missed with that fastball. It's 3-1. Fernandez is ready down in the Blue Jays bullpen, and it didn't take long. This is the second time he's been up. We mentioned there are 7 left-handed bats in this Rays lineup, so that's why the left-hander is the first one throwing. Schufo fouls it off. Now it's a full count.
You know, it'll be interesting to see if he does come into the ball game, what Tampa does. If it forces Kevin Cash to bring in some of his righties. Got 5 right-handed batters on this bench. You can see him looking over his lineup card, trying to decide what he'll want to do.
This is slicing down the left line, and nice play by the ball boy down there. And he gives that young fan a little souvenir. Good to be sitting in the front row. Strike 3 call. That slider caught the outside corner. It's the second strikeout for Gaviglio. 2 away here in the 5th.
Yeah, just the second strikeout tonight, but it comes at a good time. A good pitch on the outside corner. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now. That's how you want to paint up that opposition on the outside corner. Pitch away from his power and pick up a strikeout.
Back to the top of the order. Malik Smith. He's gone 0 for 2 so far. Ground out and a fly out. Bouncing ball past Gavilia. Araneae quickly in time. No, not in time. Jeff Nelson, the first base umpire, he took a knee so he could get a real good look. He knew it was going to be close, a slow grounder to the second baseman, Araneae. Veteran umpire Jeff Nelson just took one knee and had a good solid base to make that call.
And the Blue Jays burned their challenge earlier today on a play at second base, so they're not taking a look at this one. Looked like he was going to be out at first base. That head first dive, he might have been out.
It looked like he was out, but you'll remember they appealed a stolen base of Matt Duffy in the fourth inning and lost their challenge. So now Malik Smith is a threat to steal. He's got 33 bags. There he goes. Jansen's throw, not nearly in time. Make it 34 steals for Malik Smith.
You just knew he was going to go. At some point, he was going to go to try and give Duffy a chance to drive him in. He got a good jump. He is very fast. He has really electrified this lineup for Tampa Bay with his speed at the top of the lineup. And he makes it easily. Now you got to pitch to Duffy, who's only hitting .330 with runners in scoring position this season.
Fly ball right to Kevin Pillar, and the inning is over. So Gavilia gets out of it, gives up an infield single, and strands a base runner. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth, and it's a 2-2 game. Araneae, Mckinney, and Gurriel against Chirinos. His 20th game the last time out, and when you win 20 games and you're young in the big leagues having a good time and your team is winning, you can see he's hiding from the camera right now because we caught you. We caught you, Blake. We saw what you did. And look at the negotiations. There's a big bunch of chicken wings and fries, and Blake Snell says, how about a baseball? Kid says, hey, I got a baseball. It only cost me my dinner. Blake Snell says, you know what? I'm going to share the wealth, boys. I'm going to share the wealth. Spread it around.
Chicken fingers and fries for a baseball. What do you think? Good deal?
Yeah, we got you.
We have other cameras,
Yeah,
Blake.
we have more cameras, Blake. That's cool. I like that. You know what? When you win, you can have a lot of fun. Broken bat, bouncing ball towards second. Araneae's retired, went away. Boy, Chirinos has got that bowling ball sinker working, doesn't he?
Yes, against lefties. It's going from the barrel right in the sweet spot to the end of the bat, and he's breaking a lot of bats. Got to make him get that ball up if you have any chance of hitting it hard.
Back to the top of the order, Billy Mckinney. Makes the first pitch fastball at 95.
Sinker ball pitchers back in the day didn't throw 95. They were maybe 88, 89. They weren't 95 miles an hour with that kind of movement. So things are tough when you're facing these kind of guys.
Bounce foul past Tim Leeper. 0-2. Sam Gaviglio evidently out of the ball game. He shakes his catcher's hand. John Gibbons says nice job. 5 innings in the book for Gaviglio. It's a 2-2 ball game. Got off to a great start. It's going to be the lefty Jose Fernandez with all these left-handed bats in the Rays lineup. Billy Mckinney grounded out to first baseman and flying out the left fielder. Blue Jays have 4 hits, same for the Rays. Inside.
Keep working him. Make him get that ball over. Billy sees a lot of pitches when he's up at the plate. Trying to work over that pitcher.
Fouls that one back. You had mentioned that McKinney kind of got away from his strength. He got off the fastball a little bit, was looking more for breaking balls, and he had a conversation with Brooke Jacoby, and Jacoby reminded him, hey, what do you want to hit? Remember what you want to hit. Most guys want to hit the fastball.
Yeah. And if you're looking for the breaking ball, and these guys, they throw so hard nowadays. You try to adjust to a fastball, you're going to be tardy.
High strike called against McKinney. Great movement. It looked like it was going to be upstairs, but it kind of moved back down into the strike zone. Another strikeout for Chirinos, his 3rd.
Tough to give up on that type of fastball with that movement. It's a 2-seamer. Watch the rotation on it as it comes towards home plate. That ball is sliding back over the plate. Thinks it might be high, and it doesn't get the call.
Barrio goes after the first pitch and bounces it foul. Boy, Chirinos, you can see how confident he is. As soon as he gets the ball back from the catcher, he's standing on the rubber waiting for the sign. Big 2 hopper for Joey Wendell, the shortstop. Quick inning for Chirinos. 5 in the books here at Rogers Center. It's a 2-2 ball game. Tampa Bay and the Blue Jays. Jose Fernandez coming out of the bullpen. A great start in this ball game. He retired the first 7 batters he faced in the game, and then he ran into trouble in the 4th inning. The Rays scored 2 runs on 3 hits, an RBI triple, an RBI double. Now Jose Fernandez, the lefty, will come out of the bullpen.
And the left-hander will come in to follow Sam Gaviglio because of all the left-handed hitters that they have in the lineup for Tampa Bay. There are the numbers for Jose in 7 games. No records, just 7 innings, an opponent's batting average of 200. He has really shown that he belongs in the big leagues. Fastball, slider, and a cutter. Hasn't walked anybody. He's had a couple of strikeouts, and he will face Ji-Man Choi, who splits against left-handed pitching way different than a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, he's just 136 against lefties, 285 against righties, but first batter, they're not going to make a switch here. It's a 2-2 game.
Yeah, they're saving him just in case the Blue Jays, as the lineup comes back around, they might face a right-hander pitcher, so they want to keep him in. You bring in the left-hander like this to force Kevin Cash to make decisions. I remember the last time we were here, I was asking him about John Gibbons, and he says he's one of those managers that goes to the bullpen to get the matchups he wants, and he puts the pressure on me to decide what I need to do. Do I go to my bench and bring in my right-hander right away? You got to be careful sometimes as a manager not to do that too early in the game.
Fernandez finally throws a strike. It's now 3-1. But this is the cat and mouse game the managers will play. But with the left-handed lineup, all 7 of the 9 hitters are lefties. Strike 2. Tommy Pham in an RBI triple his last time up. He is 1 for 2. A leadoff walk issued by Fernandez. Jake Petrichka appears to be ready down in the Blue Jays bullpen.
Blue Jays are carrying 2 left-handers down in their bullpen. 10 right-handers, but just 2 left-handers. Now, Jake Petrichka can get left-handers out because of that fastball that's got a lot of movement to it.
Tommy Pham, look out. Fastball inside. Well, he's been a nice addition to this Rays team, as we mentioned, coming over in a trade from St. Louis. He had a couple of home runs yesterday down in Texas against the Rangers. His 7th multi-home run game of his career, and first since last August.
Pete Walker out to talk to his young left-hander. Calm him down. The message might be, hey, you're rushing things just a little bit. When we have seen him when he's good, he's very slow and deliberate over the mound. It's like he's just rushing it ever so slightly. Pete sees something, doesn't he?
Boy, he did. He had a purpose to that walk when he went to mound. He had a message he wanted to deliver. And I think you're right. I think Fernandez was a little too quick to the plate. First 3 pitches he threw to Ji-Man Choi were well off the plate outside. So he's gotten the message now. It's 2-0 on Pham, who's a dangerous hitter. Good message, Pete.
Yeah, he stayed over the mound just a little bit longer that time and delivered a good pitch. Pham is a dangerous hitter. He's got the combination of power and speed.
Base hit through the left side of the infield. He got to that slider.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
We are at Rogers Center, and you can see it's nighttime here. The roof has been closed throughout this entire game. Joey Wendell, boy, you talk about a good hitter. Wendell hit better against lefties than he does righties.
That's why I'm a little surprised to see the corners in for the Blue Jays defensively. Like he's going to bunt. He's not going to bunt. He's too good of a hitter. They're not going to take the bat out of his hand.
No.
Diaz, the third baseman, actually in on the grass. Rowdy Tellez, the first baseman, backed up a couple of steps now. I think you got to back up behind the runner.
Popped up. Tellez, the first baseman, calls for an infield fly rule in effect, and Wendell's retired. It's a first out of the inning. Brandon Lau, another lefty, and this is where Fernandez can get out of it. He's got Lau, Kiermaier, Bowers. Now they're going to go to their bench. Looks like Willie Adames, the shortstop. Adames will come on to hit for Brandon Lau, and as soon as he's announced, it looks like John Gibbons is going to counter that move. Gibbons got to check with Andy Fletcher. Is he into the game? Yes, he is. So there's the call to the bullpen. So Willie Adames, a right-handed hitter, will pinch hit for Brandon Lau. And with that, Fernandez is out of the game. Jake Petrichka will come on. 2 on, 1 out in this 2-2 game. Here comes Petrichka out of the Blue Jays pen. Pitches over 5 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 earned runs, and a walk. And boy, he got off to a great start. Second time through the order, the Rays caught up to him, and they scored 2 runs on 3 hits in the 4th inning. Jake Petrichka will be the 3rd Blue Jays pitcher to work tonight.
Good numbers for Jake. 3-1, 489 earned run average. Pitching much better lately. I tell you, his fastball has been moving all over the place, and he's got a nice little slider to complement that fastball. He's been hitting 97 and sometimes even 98 miles an hour consistently over his last few outings.
Willie Adames, the pinch hitter. He has worn out the Blue Jays this season to the tune of a .414 average, 12 for 29 with 3 doubles and 4 ribbies.
One of those hits was against Jake Petrichka. He's 1 for 1 against him.
Adames batting .268 for the season.
Bring that sinker baller in here, that big time sinker, to try to get out of that inning with 1 pitch.
95 on the corner. Adames just 2 pinch hitting at bats. He's 1 for 2 coming off the bench. He's another one of these young Rays that has really played well this season at shortstop. Ground ball, that gets through. G-Man Choi's coming in. He's going to score, and Willie Adames with a pinch hit RBI single up the middle. Petrichka got the ground ball, but it went right up the middle.
Yeah,
and Tampa Bay has the lead.
Unfortunately, he couldn't get it to be hit right at somebody. That would have been a tailor-made double play. Adames, you mentioned he's been wearing out the Blue Jays, and he does it again. Catches that sinker about thigh high up the middle. Takes it right back up the middle. If this is at Gurriel, the Blue Jays are hitting. But it makes his way into center field. And Tampa Bay breaks the tie.
All right, they've been swinging the bats very well. They have a 3-2 lead now. They've gathered 6 hits so far in this game. Kevin Kiermaier has gone over 2 so far. off the plate. 2-0. Tommy Pham's at second. Willie the pinch hitters at first, and there's a second lefty. Jim Mays is starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays.
There's that good sinker. Kiermaier was off yesterday. They gave him the day off when the team was down in Texas. They gave it off just to rest him up a little bit, but he has been hot. He's had 9 extra base hits in his last 13 games. And like you were saying earlier, he loves to hit here in this ballpark. Says, I see the ball so well. He knows it's a great hitter's ballpark, but he can really pick the baseball up here.
Fouls that one off Danny Jansen's mask. So Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, will do the courtesy of walking the ball out to the mound to give Jansen a little time to regroup.
What's that like?
It's not a good feeling, I tell you.
Just shakes your whole face up, doesn't it?
Yeah, when you get hit in the top of the forehead, that's one thing. But then when you get right in the back of the jaw, it pushes your jaw back into your ears. That doesn't feel good. Two balls, 2 strikes on Kiermaier. Slider in the dirt. Petrichka got the ground ball he was looking for, but Willie Adames hit it into center field. The ground ball on the ground went right through the middle. 3-2, 1 out. Pham's at second. Adames at first. A run in here. That leadoff walk cashed in by Tampa Bay. That walk will load the bases. So there's another left-hander, Jake Bauers, the first baseman. He's the batter. John Gibbons has already made the call to the bullpen, so he will use both of his lefties here in the 6th inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. Tampa Bay has taken a 3-2 lead.
Today, a reminder the season is almost over and that he has been able to finish it in the big leagues after spending the year back and forth to and from AAA. In the last 13 games, Meza hasn't allowed an earned run. Right around the time he added a 2-seam fastball that has given him the ability to get a ground ball when he's needed it. Meza now says he feels he's more comfortable with hitters, with his game plan, and in how he attacks it. Buck?
He has really been good, Arash. He uses that slider very well. The slider can neutralize right-handed bats, and Kevin Cash has gone to his bench. The batter was the first baseman, Jake Bauers, a left-handed hitter, but when John Gibbons calls in his second lefty, C.J. Cron, bottom right of your screen, will pinch hit with the bases loaded. Pham's at third. Adames at second, and Kiermaier at first. A run in already.
And all Cron has done this year has led this team in home runs and RBIs. And here he is sitting on the bench, and Kevin Cash is going to play the card right now. You see the bases are loaded. Left-hander into the ball game. He wants to bust this one open by sending Cron up there.
3-2 Tampa Bay.
How nice is that to have your home run and RBI leader sitting there? on the bench in a big situation.
And that's the theme of September baseball. Got a lot of bodies. John Gibbons used both of his lefties in this inning. Jose Fernandez walked the first man he faced, and that created a lot of problems. Cron with one out and the bases loaded goes after the first pitch. It's a slider. He fouls it back.
Tim was talking about how also he's feeling a little bit more comfortable at the big leagues, and that he belongs here, and that he believes that he belongs here, that he can get guys out. Follow my game plan, do what I have to do to get outs, register outs. His slider's been pretty nasty lately.
Jeff Nelson said no swing. It's a 1-1 count on C.J. Cron. Cron has had his problems hitting against the Jays this season. He's just 3 for 24 with 12 strikeouts. But he's hit well with the bases loaded for his career. Fastball at 93, fouled straight back.
Yeah, he's got him set up now for that hard slider. He likes to take it and aim it to right-handed batters to their back foot. That's the one that gets underneath the bat. That's the one that you need the strikeout with. Let's watch Danny Jansen, see if he slides to the inside.
Well, what a block by Jansen. Of course, that's where you anticipate that slide is going to be in the dirt down to that back foot of the hitter. Jansen was prepared for that, made a good block.
Despite that slider, just get a piece of it anywhere on your body.
Mays has done a terrific job of stranding inherited base runners. Only 3 of 17 inherited base runners have come in to score on Mason. That's pulled foul sharply into the seats.
Got to save those runs.
The run charge to Fernandez to this point. He's responsible for Pham at third. Petrichka is responsible for the other 2 base runners. Blue Jays need a ground ball. They get a strikeout. Mays crossed up Cron. Elevating that fastball and gets a big strikeout.
That's a 4-seamer. He's been working on a little 2-seamer to try and throw something else up there. That time he crosses him up, 4-seam fastball elevated. And if he doesn't swing at it, I'm sure he would have come right back with that slider. That's a big strikeout for Tim.
Well, once again, the Rays are going to go to their bench. Carlos Gomez, the veteran, will come on and hit 2 outs now. The bases are loaded. 215 for the season, 9-32.
A notorious free swinger.
Goes after the first pitch and fouls it into the catcher's mitt.
The wheels are spinning here, and it's only the 6th.
Gomez is 0 for 10 this season as a pinch hitter. He went around. 0-2. Gomez saw Cron strike out on the high fastball. Boy, if there's not a time for the slider, it's right now.
Here it is. Follow up that high fastball.
There it is. Well, it gives a pitcher so much confidence to really snap off that great slider when the catcher blocks everything in the dirt. You don't have any doubts about whether or not Danny Jansen can block it, so you can go ahead and snap off your best slider. If it's in the dirt, it's not a problem. Fastball too high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tampa Bay has taken the lead here in the top of the 6th. Strike 3 call. What a pitch. A fastball right at the knees on the inside corner. Gomez is called out. Meza strands the bases loaded. Tim Meza struck out C.J. Cron here. Gomez is called out to end the inning, but the Rays have taken the lead.
said. Smoak lamented that I never got really hot, but that said, Smoak said it was one of those years that I was honestly ecstatic about grinding through it and get to the numbers I have. Now, while Smoak had nothing big injury-wise that got him on the disabled list, he said he's been dealing with a few things because of it. Medically, he said, you have to change your mindset. He said, I'm going to play through it. It's not like I'm going to give in. Now, Smoak is 1 home run away from reaching the 25 home run plateau, but he said hitting 20 is great, hitting 30 is great. If he had 24 or 25 or 28, Smoak's take is, what's the difference? He said, I just want to be productive, and he just wants to be back too. He says, I'd love to return to Toronto in 2019. I don't know another place I'd like to be in right now. Guys?
Well, he's a veteran, and they need a veteran presence like Smoak. So he has had a down year compared to his season a year ago. Lots of changes here. Jesus Sucre takes over behind the plate. C.J. Cron, the pinch hitter, he's at first base. He hit for Jake Bowers. Joey Wenda moves from shortstop to second base. Willie Adames pinch hit and had an RBI single. He takes over defensively at shortstop. I'm not sure why Kevin Cash was out to talk to Andy Fletcher.
Carlos Gomez got in a fight with Andy Fletcher, and he might have been thrown out of the ballgame. So his manager went out there to talk to him. Gomez was carrying on in between that inning, arguing with the home plate umpire about one of those strikes that was called a strike, one of those pitches that was called a strike.
Justin Smoak tried to check his swing and went after it. Kevin Cash doing a little fence bending out there with the home plate umpire. Chirinos thought that ball was a strike, and he might be right. That had a lot of movement, a lot of run back to the inside corner. It's 1-2 to Smoak. He's leading off the bottom of the 6th here. Boy, that's a wicked pitch. That's that splitter down and away for the strikeout.
Yeah, you got to cover so many pitches when Chirinos is on the mound. That hard running fastball, a little bit of a breaking ball, and then that nasty splitter. Look at the fingers get ready in the mitt, and that a dive bombing as it makes its way to home plate.
Brando Grichuk is 1 for 2. Chirinos in his 5th inning of relief. He came in with a man aboard and nobody out in the 2nd.
Doesn't look like he's slowing down.
No, I mean, he's picked up the tempo of anything.
He's thrown 55 pitches now. They've got a couple of pitchers warming up in the bullpen for Tampa Bay, but he doesn't look like he's losing anything.
That was a slider upstairs. Adam Kolarek is on the left, Chaz Rowe on the right. And they've got a full complement of pitchers down there. They've got 16 relief pitchers listed on their bullpen.
I don't have enough room on my score sheet to put them all down.
Ryan Stanek was the opener. He had a terrific 1st inning, but had trouble in the 2nd. He gave up a double, a home run, and a single. He was out of the game. Boy, Ryan Borucki, he has really stepped up since coming up to the big leagues. That ball is ripped but foul. You know, there are just certain people that they don't seek it out, but they become natural born leaders. He might be that guy. And he's talking about the path of the bat, the break of the slider.
Reading bats, what pitch you're going to throw from what you see.
Well, that splitter's been a wicked pitch for Chirinos. Grichuk strikes out, 2 strikeouts in the inning. 5 strikeouts for Chirinos, and that's going to be it. Kevin Cash never hesitated. He popped out of the dugout and he calls for the bullpen. But Chirinos, another terrific outing against the Blue Jays. Adam Kolarek will come on, the lefty. Rowdy Tellez getting an update on Kolarek. Owner guest from one of TD's community partners. Welcome to Rogers Center. Heck of a ball game. It's a 3-2 game. I don't know if the Blue Jays are really disappointed that Cherny's out of the game. He was terrific. He allowed just one hit in 4+ innings. Now he'll turn it over to the lefty, Adam Kolarek,
who is probably going to be in for just one batter. He's a sinker, slider, changeup type of pitcher, left on left. That's the situation that Kevin Cash wants. Gets a lot of ground balls. He's a side-arming left-hander. You got to make him get the ball up.
Rowdy Tellez, 1 for 2 with a homer. The ball really moved inside. Tellez, with that home run, joins Adam Lind as the only players in Blue Jays franchise history with 9 extra base hits in their first 14 big league games. Pretty good company. It's this bouncing ball. Crone will flip to Kolarek, and Tellez is retired. That ends the inning. So the Rays take a 3-2 lead into the 7th. Mark Leiter Jr. coming out of the pen.
Are on sale now. Purchase season tickets and automatically become enrolled in My Blue Jays. You can learn more at bluejays.com.
We move to the 7th inning. Tampa Bay has a 3-2 lead. Mark Leiter Jr., he's getting a lot of work since he's come over to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he was claimed off waivers from Philadelphia on September the 1st, and this is his 6th game already for the Blue Jays. There are the numbers with Philadelphia and the Jays so far this season. Got a little bit of everything. the veteran pitcher. He's faced Tampa Bay already one time this year. That's the last time they were here. He threw an inning. It was a very clean inning. Had a strikeout against them. He'll get the top of the lineup here in the 7th.
First batter he faced was Malik Smith. That's who he faces here in the 7th. For Leiter, this is his 6th appearance since coming over to the Blue Jays. Malik Smith had an infield hit and a stolen base back in the 5th. Leiter has not pitched since New York. Worked an inning in New York, gave up a hit and nothing more.
You mentioned this is his 6th appearance with the Blue Jays. He's only had one bad one, really. That was against Cleveland, where he threw an inning and gave up 3 hits and 3 earned runs. Everything else has been pretty good. He'll give you a little bit of everything.
Here he walks the leadoff man, and it's the speedy Malik Smith. Smith had a stolen base the last time he reached in the 5th. He'll be thinking about running here. Boston has a 4-2 lead over the Yankees there in the 4th. You can see that on Sportsnet 360. Matt Duffy is 1 for 3. Well, he's the type of hitter you want hitting second behind a base stealer.
And not afraid to take a strike if he has to. If that base runner is going to try and steal, he can hit and run if they want to do that also. He hits the ball all over the place to all fields. You can bet that he's going to try and shoot one to right field, hit that hole on the right side. He's got 52 opposite field hits this year.
Hitter jumps ahead with a fastball strike. Gotta keep your eye on Malik Smith. And Leiter does. Smith has 34 stolen bases.
He's been a spark plug for this team since they moved him into that leadoff spot. High on base percentage, and you mentioned all the speed. That's a good aggressive lead.
He's a little bit late getting back to first that time. Looked like he was thinking about running. Smith is second to Whit Merrifield of the Kansas City Royals. Merrifield has 36 stolen bases with 1 tonight. Smith has 34. There he goes. Pitch out. Jansen's throw is short. They called it right. They called the pitch out, but Malik Smith got a great jump again. Second stolen base of the night, 3rd in the game for Tampa Bay.
Another good jump. We mentioned that he's got an aggressive lead. Blue Jays guessed right. Even with a good throw, I don't think he gets him. He's just too fast.
You better stop him at second now. Moves behind him.
Throw the pickoff play on. Well, what's it going to hurt? Just to make him aware that you're thinking about him.
Danny Jansen wanting a little chat with Mark Leiter Jr. The Yankees have come back and taken the lead against the Red Sox.
That sounds like a not on my turf type of game.
Giancarlo Stanton with a grand slam home run. 1-1 to Duffy. Outside. Mark Leiter Jr., the 4th Blue Jay pitcher to work here this evening. Sam Gaviglio started. Jose Fernandez in relief. He got just 1 out, and then Jake Petrichka. He didn't get anybody out, but him Mesa, boy, he did a heck of a job. Struck out 2 to leave the bases loaded. Ground ball. Gurriel keeps it on the infield. Everybody's going to be safe. Boy, there's another instinctive play by Gurriel. He was shaded up the middle with Malik Smith at second. And knowing full well if that ball gets through, Smith's going to score.
Oh, yeah, he scores easily, but that's the influence of speed. You got to keep that runner close so he is guarding them, standing right behind him, and his range is able to get to that ball and keep it in the infield. That long reach, and he comes up faking like he's going to throw to first base, hoping to get that runner to round third base. That's another instinctive play.
Getting better and better with each game. Nobody out. Runners at the corners. Ji-Man Choi takes the first pitch strike. Choi walked to start the inning in the sixth. He walked against the reliever Jose Fernandez.
That was just last inning, and he came around to score. Another leadoff walk here in the seventh. He's 90 feet from scoring.
Craig Choi had asked for time and it wasn't granted. Marlo Hale gives the signs for the run defense. First and third, nobody out. 2 strikes on the batter. Tampa Bay threatening to add to their lead here. Top of the 7th inning. Mark Leiter Jr. walked Malik Smith to start the inning. Smith stole second and moved to third on the infield hit by Matt Duffy.
They have a way of manufacturing runs, don't they? Got some pesky hitters, and they've got a lot of team speed. Duffy over there at first base, he already has a stolen base himself. Smith has 2 tonight. So they've added to their 113 team steals.
Cut on and missed. Choi strikes out. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Eduardo Rodriguez, he started for Boston, had 7 walks in 3 2/3 innings. I mean, you're just inviting trouble when you do that.
In that ballpark?
David Price wasn't very good last night either. Tommy Pham, he's been good tonight. Pham has an RBI, triple, and a single. 2 for 3. Boy, he has really taken off since he's joined the Rays.
Yeah, they made a small adjustment to where his hands are in his stance, but they said go ahead and just do what you do. That's why we wanted you. He's bought into it.
Pham hit .248 for the Cardinals in 98 games. He had 14 home runs and 41 driven in. Chad Mottola is the hitting coach, having a chat with Willie Adames about that split finger pitch from Leiter. But Mottola's done a great job with these young hitters.
Yeah, and he really enjoys working with them. He says there are a lot of young players. They really buy in. They try things. They practice. They buy into what they're trying to tell them, and it's been a lot of fun.
Ball gets away, and the runner Duffy will move into second. That gets the Rays out of a double play situation. Again, another heads-up piece of base running.
Yeah, it'll be interesting now to see what the Blue Jays do with their infield. I don't think they can give up any more runs, so they got to bring him in. It's a sinker down and in. And he just can't turn that glove over to keep that ball in front of him. That allows that runner to get into scoring position from first base. There's the infield in. Need an Adam ball right here. Something right at him.
3-0 count to Pham, and you can bet he's got the green light. He takes a strike inside corner on a breaking ball.
John Gibbons trying to get the attention of his young catcher.
Be smart now. You got a base open. Give yourself a chance maybe to get a double play. Don't have to give in to Pham. Ground ball. Gurriel dives and now he can't make a play. A run comes in as Smith comes in to score. Second time tonight a leadoff walk has come in to score.
What a great break by the runner at third base, Smith. Again, that's what speed will do to you. Puts a lot of pressure on the pitcher, puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Watch the break right away. No chance to get him at the plate. He saves a run by knocking this ball down in his haste to get the ball out of his glove. He can't transfer it, so that should be an infield hit.
Another hit and an RBI for Tommy Pham. He's got 3 hits and a couple of ribbies tonight. 4-2 Tampa Bay. Still just 1 out. Joey Wendell started at shortstop. He has since moved to second base. Pete Walker checking on the status of the bullpen. There's a base hit through the right side. Duffy's around third. He's going to score. Pham goes to third as Joey Wendell picks up his second RBI of the night, an RBI single to right. He's 2 for 4.
Where they can hit the middle of this lineup. They're pesky hitters. They put the bat on the ball. They don't like to strike out. They spray it all over the field, making it tough on anybody pitching against them.
Mark Leiter Jr. struck out Choi, the only out he's recorded in this inning. Tampa Bay has a 5-2 lead. Joe B. Genie will come on. Jr. here in the 7th. It'll be his 45th appearance of the season.
Just second this month. He was placed on the disabled list with a left oblique strain. That was on September the 1st. Spent 13 days on the disabled list, came off. First time he pitched was in that series in New York. An inning, just gave up a hit, had a walk. Did not pitch in the Baltimore series where the Blue Jays were just back. Now he is here to face the Rays. Got to clean up some mess here. Runners on base, first and third, just 1 out.
Willie Adames had a pinch hit single back in the 6th inning. Jake Patricia came into the game. Brandon Lau was the batter, and they made a switch and went to the pinch hitter Adames. He delivered an RBI single. Pham's at third. Wendell's at first. Still just 1 out. Adames with a mighty cut. Hunter Wood and Chaz Rowe, a couple of righties loosening up now. Mark Ryder Jr. walked the first batter he faced in this inning. Malik Smith, he came around to score, as has Matt Duffy.
She'll be a
There goes the runner.
Get ground balls. There's another stolen base for Tampa Bay, but now doesn't matter. He can get a share of ground balls with that hard sinking fastball. The Rays pick up on that and steal their way to another base and out of the double play.
4 stolen bases so far tonight. They've also taken advantage of a wild pitch. 15 steal for Wendell. Infield again has to come in. With sinking fastball from Biagini.
Yeah, it looked like Kevin Cash gave a sign to his third base coach what they want to do now on any ground ball. Looked like he's going to play for another run. The contact plays on.
Already up by 3. You might as well roll the dice. Put the pressure on the Blue Jays infield to make a play. Strike 3 call. And I was caught looking at that fastball. Now Biagini strikes out Adames. That's the second out of the inning.
When he stays on top and he stays together, that fastball's got some movement. Right at the bottom of the strike zone, and it just clips the corner. That's a big strikeout. Now leave him out there.
Kevin Kiermaier, the center fielder. So for 2 so far with a walk. Another good fastball. Same spot at 97.
Keep throwing it there. That is a tough pitch for anybody.
Went right back to it, but missed. Kiermaier has hit the ball hard a couple of times tonight. Nothing to show for it just yet. And blocked by Jansen. Way back in September of 2016, Joe Biagini hadn't given up a home run all season long until Kevin Kiermaier hit a home run on the 3rd of September. Joe had such a terrific rookie season. He's doing a great job of keeping the ball on the ballpark. Kiermaier hit the first home run against Joe Biagini.
And that's the only hit that Kevin's ever had against Joe.
2-1. Foul back. Joe had that terrific rookie season working out of the bullpen. And he really surprised a lot of people. He was a Rule 5 player. He pitched in 60 games in 2016 and did a great job in the postseason.
It moved him into the bullpen, from the bullpen into the starting rotation. That didn't work out, and now they have him back where he belongs, in the bullpen.
Joe made 6 appearances in 2016 in the postseason, a total of 7 1/3, allowed just 3 hits, no runs. Walked 1 batter and struck out 6, all in the postseason.
Not bad for a rookie.
He was good. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pretty good looking pitch right at the top of the zone. C.J. Cron entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 6th and struck out against Tim Mesa. Full count on Kiermaier. Biagini's got a pitch on his mind.
And now the young catcher's got to get to it. What is it going to be?
Kiermaier against Biagini. Curveball. Kiermaier got a piece of it. Joe lifted up a little bit, and Kiermaier was able to foul it off. Tampa Bay has scored 2 runs here in the top of the 7th. They've got runners at 2nd and 3rd. And they're set. He walked him. So Kiermaier draws the walk. That'll load the bases.
You know, that isn't a bad thing, the way Kiermaier's been swinging lately. I told you how hot he's been over his last 13 games. 9 extra base hits, 11 runs scored, almost a 400 average. You walk him, okay. You try and nip the corners to try and get him to get himself out. You walk him. Now you got to face a right-hander. I think your chances just went up to get an out.
C.J. Cron struck out against Mesa, as we mentioned, his only plate appearance of the night. First pitch, strike. Biagini's got a little extra zip on his fastball.
Yeah, he's had some time off. He hasn't worked since the 14th. 6 full days ago, that series in New York.
Biagini was set. Jansen wasn't sure what pitch he was going to throw, so he told him to step up. They'll go through the signs again. Cron is 0 for 3 against Biagini. Limited number of at-bats. Fly ball looped into left field, and that's going to drop in front of Billy Mckinney. Here comes the 3rd run, trying to score. Strong throw, but not in time. As C.J. Cron clears the bases with a little looping single in left field. He didn't hit it hard, but he hit it in the right spot.
You know, it doesn't happen very often, but every now and then you'll see this. Bases loaded, 3 RBIs on a single. Yeah, you'll get 2 RBIs a lot of time on a single. Very rarely will you get a 3 on a base hit, a single. And it's because he had the right guy at first base and how this ball is just looped and there's 2 outs. So Kiermaier's taken off on anything into the outfield. Mckinney does everything he can to try and catch it. And Kiermaier just so fast, scores all the way from first base.
He took a look over his shoulder when he got the shortstop when that ball was hitting the turf. And once he saw it bounce, he knew he was going to be able to score. Billy Mckinney just can't get there in time. Then he tries to smother it and bounces over him. Kiermaier scoring all the way from first. It's 8-2. Jesus Sucre batting for the first time. Carlos Gomez pinch hit for the starter, Nick Schufo. And then Sucre took over defensively.
Yeah, that was just last inning. Gomez ended last inning by striking out, and I believe he got thrown out of the game.
1-2 on Sucre. The Rays have scored 5 runs here in the 7th. Tampa Bay came in here a hot team. Joe Biagini, the starter, retired the first 7 in a row to start the game. It took them a while to get going, but now they have scored 8 runs on 10 hits and haven't hit a home run.
They have a 5-game win streak starting this series against the Blue Jays. 5 in a row.
There's a base hit for Sucre through the right side of the infield. Everything is breaking right for Tampa Bay.
I mentioned that 5-game win streak. They've had 7 streaks now of 5+ wins this season. 7. How about being consistent?
Well, we mentioned they got off to a rough start, but Kevin Cash and his coaching staff just hung in there, kept pushing the fundamentals, and the team has responded. 2 outs. Malik Smith batting for a second time this inning. Smith started the inning by drawing a leadoff walk, then he stole second. He's got 2 stolen bases tonight. He's 1 for 3 and has scored a run. Tampa Bay has won 9 of the first 12 they have played against the Blue Jays this season. They will have 6 more games against each other after this game tonight. Pass Biagini. Araneae will go to second for the force out, and that'll end the inning. But Tampa Bay puts up a 5 spot in the top of the 7th inning. C.J. Cron batting for a second time. Drops one in front of the left fielder. That clears the bases. Kiermaier scores all the way from first. Of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. Rowdy Tellez gave the Blue Jays an early lead. He had a 2-run home run in the 2nd inning, but since then has been all Rays. They have scored 8 unanswered runs, and they have really beaten up on the Blue Jays bullpen tonight. Hunter Wood will take over for Tampa Bay.
He's another one of those rookie pitchers that the Tampa Bay Rays have used this season. In 22 games, he's 1-1 with 382 earned run average. He's faced the Blue Jays a couple of times. He's got a win against them. He's pitched 3 innings. He's given up 1 hit. Boy, a lot of options down in that bullpen for Tampa now.
They got 16 pitchers.
They brought up 4 more players today.
Pilar hits a high fly ball into center. 1 out. Ozzie Timmons is the first base coach for Tampa Bay, and they have a little ritual they go through with the sunflower seeds, counting push-ups all the while.
Just guessing that Blake Snell's in there. Oh, there you go. Just guessing.
Diaz hits a high fly ball to right. Malik Smith gets back and makes the catch on the warning track. 2 up, 2 down. A couple of fly ball outs for Hunter Wood.
The 2018 Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Indoor baseball tonight at Rogers Center. First of 4 games against Tampa Bay, and the Rays came in hot, and they have stayed hot. Ozzie Timmons is done with his workout.
And his sunflower shower.
As Pat mentioned, the Rays have won 5 straight games. They're 14-3 over their last 17. 19 games over 500. Danny Jansen, the catcher. It's this one on the ground. Matt Duffy has it. Long throw. Easy inning for Hunter Wood. Took him just 6 pitches to retire the side in order. We'll go to the 8th. Blue Jays and Rays play game 2 of this 4-game series. It all starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle. 3:30 Pacific Time. Game 2 of this 4-game series, the Blue Jays and the Rays. Jonathan Davis takes over defensively in center field for Kevin Pillar. Davis is a natural center fielder, so they put him out there to get a few innings under his belt.
This kind of game, it's a good idea. Get some of these young guys in there. Anthony Alford, we might see him. He's on the roster now, just brought up. Might see him. Dwight Smith Jr. Might see him get an at-bat or an inning in the outfield.
Here's Matt Duffy. And he goes after the first pitch. Joe Biagini continues to work for the Blue Jays. Duffy is 2 for 4. He has scored a couple of runs, has a stolen base. It's a nice lineup they feature. Good balance in the lineup. I know tonight they started 7 lefties against Sam Gaviglio. There's a liner to Araneae at second. Duffy's retired. They talked about this good ball club and what Kevin Cash has done with his team, and you can see what they've done since August 19th. In the AL East, they have the best record at 23-5, best by a wide margin.
A lot of that because of the pitching. Pitching's been the best in major leagues since then. A 266 earned run average. Enough offense. They'll figure out ways to score runs. Their whole game, when they are really good, and they've been good in the past, it's been built on pitching and defense, and they figure out ways to score runs. Kevin Cash has plenty of options. You mentioned the lineup to score runs. With some speed, with some balance, just a little bit of power. Totally different than the Rays team from last year.
There's a fly ball to left field. Mckinney did a nice job of turning and running away from the infield. He got a good beat on that. Makes a nice running catch. Yeah, last year there were a lot of power hitters in that Rays lineup, and they struck out a ton. Looks like Anthony Alford might be getting ready to hit. The shin guard and the bat.
Go get loose. They have a tee behind the dugout if they want to go hit into a screen.
Tommy Pham's had a big night. We talked to Chad Mottola about Tommy Pham, and they just picked him up mid-season from the St. Louis Cardinals. He said, man, this guy is focused, ultra focused. Mottola has a tremendous regard for Pham, thinking that he comes here with one thing on his mind, that's winning the game.
Yeah, he talks about his game face. He puts that game face on, and it never leaves him.
Hits this one in the air to center field. Jonathan Davis, fresh into the game, makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down for Biagini. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddall in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Presented by Honda at the Model Clearout event. The real victory lap is the drive home.
Bottom of the 8th inning. You can see the Rays blew it wide open with 5 runs in the 7th inning. They have out-hit the Blue Jays 11-4. Blue Jays have a home run in this game. Riley Tellez hit a homer. Richard Araneae gets a base hit on the first pitch of the inning. Drops it in front of the left fielder, Tommy Pham. A leadoff single, and now Araneae's aboard. It says Anthony Alford. We mentioned he was getting ready to pinch hit, and he will pinch hit for Billy McKinney here in the 8th inning.
Just got to the on-deck circle right before that last pitch. He was up there getting loose, getting some swings in. Hey, first pitch you see, let it hack. Just let it go.
Alford played 7 games way back in May. He went 2 for 14 in those 7 games, had an RBI. He spent most of the season in the minor leagues. He had a good cut on that first pitch.
There you go. Hey, it's 8-2. Hunter Wood's not going to mess around with it. He's going to come right after you. He wants to have some easy innings. He's going to pound that strike zone and force you to hit your way on. Good approach by Alford to go up there swinging.
Alford ended up hitting .240 at AAA Buffalo, 5 homers, 34 RBIs. He had 17 stolen bases. He's still trying to get comfortable playing baseball. He was a big-time football player
for a long time, and he's missed a lot of time because of injuries in his baseball career. Nagging injuries that sit him down, and he loses valuable time to develop. Well, he's got a ton of talent.
Manfred's just 24 years old. He turned 24 on the 20th of July. Third round pick by the Blue Jays back in 2012, facing Hunter Wood. 1-2. David Paulino loosening up for the Blue Jays. Looks like he'll come on and pitch the ninth. Anthony Alford pinch hitting for Billy McKinney. There's a good curveball. Alford strikes out, first out of the inning. Hunter Wood dropped that big overhand curveball on Alford.
Yeah, that's his best pitch right there. A plus curveball. He shook to it. They went slider, fastball, and he said, no, I need that curveball with 2 strikes, and he picks up his first strikeout of the night.
Lourdes Carrillo Jr. is 0 for 3 with a strikeout so far in this game. Look out. Fastball got away from him, 96 miles an hour.
Fastball. It looked like they wanted it inside, but not up and in. That one just got away from him.
And a good cut at that fastball. Been a good season for Lourdes Carrillo Jr. Opportunity to play on a regular basis. Remember, he's been on the disabled list a couple of different times. This is his 60th game this season. Hits this ball off the end of the bat to right field. Malik Smith makes the catch. Carrillo is 0 for 4. Well, it's been a tough season for the Blue Jays, in particular playing against the American League East. Jays are 27-42 against the East, and they haven't been able to hit much at all, especially against the Rays. They've hit under 200 as a team against Tampa Bay.
Totally have had their number when it comes to pitching against them. Dominated them with their hard throwers. They got a whole bullpen full of guys who can rush it up there in the high 90s.
It's going to be interesting to see how Tampa Bay utilizes the opener going forward. I mean, you could argue that Yonny Chirinos and Ryan Yarbrough both could start.
Oh, yes. It's do they have enough faith in them to start them and have them go 3 times through the lineup?
Smoak hits it on the ground. Cron will step on the bag, and that'll end the inning. So the Blue Jays trail 8-2 after 8. We'll go to the 9th. Wendell Adams and Kiermaier. Ryan Stanning started. Fantasy available with Honda-Vac. It always bats cleanup.
Well, this was the capper to that big 5-run inning for Tampa Bay. Bases loaded, and C.J. Cron is actually going to get a single. But because there were 2 outs and the ball was blooped into the outfield, Kevin Kiermaier running from first base, it's a 3-run single, capping that big 5-run inning for Tampa Bay, making it 8-2 tonight's drive of the game from C.J. Cron.
C.J. Cron came into the ball game as a pinch hitter and struck out with the bases loaded against Tim Mesa, but he delivers with the bases loaded his second time up. This is David Paulino making his 4th appearance for the Blue Jays.
He was acquired from the Houston Astros, part of that Osuna trade, Roberto Osuna trade. This is his 4th game with the Blue Jays, his first one since September the 14th.
Changes on defense. Reid Smith Jr. takes over in left field. And Anthony Alford, who pinch hit for Billy Mckinney, takes over in right field. So this is the first time that Anthony Alford and Jonathan Davis have played in the field together in the major leagues. They are brothers-in-law. That's pretty cool. Playing here in the big leagues. I'm sure they would like it to be in a much different situation. Trey Wendell hits it high into the air. Davis calls for it, makes the catch, 1 away. David Paulino's had some arm issues this year. He hasn't pitched an awful lot. Blue Jays getting a look at him here at the end of the season.
Yeah, this is really interesting. He could be a very interesting guy, I think, for the Blue Jays going forward. He's got everything you would like to see from a reliever. He's got some size to him. He creates a good downward plane when he lets it go. Before he was injured, I mean, he could rush it up there. That typical reliever, 95 plus, but we haven't seen it just yet in his 3 games that he has pitched for the Blue Jays, and I'm sure that goes back to the problems that he has had injury-wise.
Building up his arm strength for sure. 1-1.
Well, until then, he's just going to have to build up his arm strength on the side. He's got good pitches. He's got a good curveball. He's got a good changeup. And eventually, he's going to get that arm strength back and have a good, hard fastball. That could be a nice little weapon coming out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays in the future. There's a good changeup to pick up his first strikeout of the night. Second time that Adames has gone down swinging. David Paulino 2 up and 2 down.
2 away here in the top of the 9th inning. Austin Meadows is going to pinch hit for Kevin Kiermaier. He has just been called up from the minor leagues. He was acquired and they sent Chris Archer to Pittsburgh. He is a good-looking young outfield prospect. He was finishing up in the playoffs for Durham, and they were just defeated by Memphis in the Governor's Cup for the minor league championship in AAA.
Former high draft pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates, how they included him in that trade. They gave up a lot. And Tampa Bay, I think, did a heck of a job asking for this kid. They said he's going to be a home run hitter. He's got a sweet swing.
This is his Rays debut. He becomes the 54th player and 23rd rookie used by Tampa Bay. Both are club records. Trade took place on the 31st of July. Rays also received Tyler Glasnow and a minor league righty, Shane Baz. Oh, he's got a nice swing.
Yeah, it's a pretty swing with some power. He went down to AAA and tore it up after he got traded over here. Kevin Cash was saying, you know, I'll try and find him some bats, but I owe it to the guys who have been here all season long. It's tough to get this guy in the lineup.
Yeah, it sure is, especially given how well they have played down the stretch. 1-2. Ground ball. Tellez has it. Paulino with a 1-2-3 top half of the ninth. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. 8-2 Tampa Bay. Yankee Stadium, and after the Jackie Bradley Jr. home run, Christian Vasquez singled. So the Red Sox still have something going in the seventh. This is Jamie Schultz making his 20th appearance of the season, starting the ninth inning.
Former 14th round draft pick from High Point University in North Carolina, Jamie Schultz was a starter down in the minor leagues for this team, and he has transitioned into the bullpen. He's pitched exclusively out of the bullpen in the major leagues with the Rays this year. 30 strikeouts in 28 and a third innings for Schultz. He had a perfect 6 up, 6 down the last time he pitched.
This is Dwight Smith Jr. as Malik Smith has taken over in center field, and Austin Meadows is in right field. Ball and a strike to Smith, getting his first plate appearance. A couple of home runs this season. Hit a home run off Rick Porcello at Fenway Park earlier this year. Reid Foley will pitch tomorrow night. Tampa Bay hasn't announced who their opener will be, but Reid Foley gets another chance to start. Last time out, he had 10 strikeouts in 5 innings against the Yankees.
Yeah, in just 5 innings against New York, and maybe 2 more starts left for him.
He's got a lot of energy. He said, you know what, I could throw a lot. He said, I feel great right now. And obviously he's had 2 10 strikeout games since he's joined the Blue Jays.
Every time the coaches say, hey, how do you feel? I feel great. Can you go? Absolutely, I can go.
Yep.
You love that type of attitude, don't you?
3-1 to Smith. Hit in the line, and that's going to get down for a hit and go up against the fence. Smith is headed for second, and Malik Smith boots it. And Dwight Smith Jr. will end up at third. Well, Malik Smith got to it. Ball bounced off the fence, and when he swiped at it with his glove, he knocked it away.
And we'll see how they're going to score that one. It's obviously a double. At least a double. That ball was Smoak. Get yourself into a good fastball count and time it up, what Dwight does. Hits that ball, short hops the wall in right field. There's the drop right there. Maybe they give him an error on that one. We'll have to see, but Smith's going to end up at third base.
Here's the play out in center, and they could certainly charge Malik Smith with an error. It is a double, the 7th double of the season for Dwight Smith Jr., and he goes to third on the air. Here's Rowdy Tellez. Tellez got the scoring started. He had a 2-run home run in the second, his second big league home run.
He knows these Rays pitchers, doesn't he? He doesn't wait around. Got his first hit. Homered on the first pitch that he saw, his first at bat tonight. That was against Stanek.
Stanek had a very good first inning. He served as the opener tonight. 27th time he's done that. And then there was a long delay as the umpires went in to change their equipment. Umpires were late getting their equipment here to the ballpark, and they had to make a change. Tellez pulls it foul outside of first. But Stanek gave up a double to Randall Grichuk, a 2-run home run to Rowdy Tellez, and Kevin Pillar gave up a single, so he was out of the game facing 3 batters in the second.
It didn't take long, too, did it? Once he got back out on that mound for that second inning, double home run single. He was out of the game, and Chirinos came in and really settled things down for Tampa.
Grichuk and Pillar both getting hits, and now get the rest of the game off. Some of the youngsters playing. Tellez drops it down the left field line. Got a chance for another double. He's headed for second, and that'll be another extra base hit for Rowdy Tellez. Some guys just have a knack for getting hits.
You know, you go up there, and a swinging bat is a dangerous bat. And told you his first couple of times up tonight, he was swinging at the first pitch. You're not going to get any hits taken. He is swinging. He's ready to swing even when he gets beat like he does on this fastball because he's aggressive. Just keeps it fair down the left field line. He's going to drive in another run and have yet another extra base hit.
2 extra base hits tonight. He has 8 double, 2 home runs, 10 extra base hits in his young career. Kyle Snyder's going to come out the mound and have a chat with Jamie Schultz.
Hurry into Home Hardware's kitchen event, on now until October 9th. Here's how.
Blue Jays have scored a run here in the 9th. Malik Smith Jr. led it off with a double. He went to third on the year by the center fielder. And now he's knocked in by Rowdy Tellez. These two organizations both share AAA teams in the International League, so there are a lot of players on both teams that know one another.
Florida State League. They go at each other from the Florida State League on.
Jonathan Davis will get his first plate appearance tonight. He took over defensively in center field for Kevin Poole.
I think their low A ball teams are in the same division too, aren't they?
Bluefield and Princeton in the Appalachian League.
Bowling Green and Lansing in
so.
that league also. So you got to figure some of these young kids have faced these opposition a lot.
Right up the ladder, yep.
Right up the ladder.
That's what we're talking about. Play against one another coming up, and now they're all in the big leagues together. Davis fouls it back. David Paulino had a nice inning. Retired to side in order in the top half of this inning.
Both of those players from the Dominican Republic, so I'm sure they have faced each other growing up.
But Adames looks like a good player. Just starting to get comfortable in the big leagues, but he's got a little juice in his bat. Had a big pinch hit RBI base hit early in the game. Foul back. Jonathan Davis has 2 hits and 7 at-bats in the big leagues. He has a couple of stolen bases as well. This year in the minor leagues at AAA Buffalo, he had 249. Had 23 stolen bases. Check that. He had 7 stolen bases in AAA Buffalo. Had 19 in AA.
He's got some talent. One of those late bloomers.
This is his 6th minor league season. There are the numbers between AA and AAA this season at 282. Outside. Like so many of these young Blue Jays players, Jonathan Davis played for Dennis Holmberg in Bluefield. As you see, Reese McGuire. 3-2, nobody out. He fights it off and stays alive.
Keep battling. He's already picked up his first 2 big league hits. His first one was against David Price. Get up there and just keep battling.
Hanging tough against Jamie Schultz.
This is going to be at least a 10 pitch at bat. He knows he doesn't want to walk him, so he's going to be around the plate. So just be ready to swing.
Well, and sure, you sit around as a youngster, a September call-up, and when you do get your chance, you want to make the most of it. Hit him. So the 10th pitch of the at-bat hits Jonathan Davis. He goes to first. Kevin Cash making that call he didn't want to make.
Yeah. Wanted to have a nice, quiet 9th inning. Now the Blue Jays down by 5, but they've got a couple of runners on and nobody out.
So Reese McGuire will grab a bat, and now they got to crank up Sergio Romo. He's probably kicking back thinking, well, I won't have to pitch tonight. 8-3 Tampa Bay. Reese McGuire comes off the bench swinging. McGuire hitting .250 for the season. This is the 8th game he's appeared in. He's got a couple of doubles and an RBI. Breaking ball pulled foul by McGuire. This is the second pinch hitting at bat for Reese McGuire. He's 0 for 1. Tellez is at second. Jonathan Davis at first. Rowdy Tellez with an RBI double. Tellez has a 3 RBI night. He homered and hit a double. 8-3 Tampa Bay. Blue Jays aren't going quietly here in the 9th. Breaking ball that gets away, but Tellez will hold his ground at second.
Curveball hasn't even been close here in the 9th inning. He's thrown 26 pitches, hasn't gotten it out. Reese McGuire gets on. The tying run's on deck. That's why they have Sergio Romo up and probably telling him right now to, hey, speed it up just a little bit. You might be in the game.
2-2 pitch to McGuire. He calls him out. Ball looked like it might have been away, but it's a strike 3 call on McGuire. First out of the inning. McGuire was batting for Ledmus Diaz, and now Danny Jansen. Danny has grounded out 3 times tonight.
There's his slider. He's got a slider and a curveball. Had Tommy John surgery 8 years ago. Now he's getting his fastball back. He says he's hit 99 a few times in his career.
.95 but upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Blue Jays batting in the bottom of the 9th. Tampa Bay has an 8-3 lead. Slider fouled out of play.
Hanging slider too. And just a little bit late on that one.
Henrys Morales moving around a bit just in case. Swing in the drive. This ball is way back. Jansen, home run number 3. Jansen had a home run in Baltimore, and he put the wood on that one.
Boy, what great sound coming off that bat. You throw a slider like that just hung up there. He saw one a couple of pitches ago and missed it. That time sped up his bat, and he absolutely leveled that pitch. Blue Jays have put up 4 so far.
And the closer will come on, Sergio Romo. He's been the opener. He's been the closer. He's got 22 saves, and it is a save situation. And well into the seats. It's a 3-run home run. Jansen's happy, but watch this youngster. He's happier than Danny Jansen because he just got a souvenir baseball. How about that? That's the beauty of baseball.
And a hug from Dad, too.
I can't believe I got a baseball.
Put that thing in your pocket. High five all around.
How about that?
That's awesome.
Beautiful. The kids for the Blue Jays have made the kid fans happy. And here's Sergio Romo. His 69th game of the season. He's 22 for 29 in saves, and he started this whole opener thing back on the 19th of May.
Boy, about 20 minutes ago, I bet you he didn't think he was going to be in this ball game. It was 8-2 at the time. He pitched 4 straight days. On Monday was his 4th straight day. So he's had a couple of days off, and now this is a save situation thanks to Danny Jansen's home run.
Jamie Schultz retired just 1 batter, and that was shaky. Might have been a ball. Araneae takes ball 2. Things could get interesting if he reaches base.
Yeah, you've got a home run hitter now on deck. If he gets on base, a home run threat could tie it up with 1 swing.
Romo not overpowering by any means, but boy, he's a savvy pitcher. Got that big sweeping slider. He'll change up from time to time.
Yeah, he's got one of the best sliders, I think, in baseball. He'll throw it a lot to right-handers, and he'll backdoor it to lefties. There it is.
Just 77 miles an hour. It's one of those pitches that just continues to break, and you can see Rick Jacoby talking to Dwight Smith Jr. about that Romo slider. Changeup. Romo strikes out Araneae.
Watch how he grips that thing in his hand, push it way back in his palm, and then throw it as hard as you can. You can't throw a ball like that hard. There it is coming off the fingers, and Araneae is a little bit out in front. That was a big out for Romo.
Boy, it sure was. Now, Morales bats with nobody on and 2 outs. Off the plate with the slider. Romo's now 35 years old, facing the veteran Kendrys Morales. Morales with 21 homers this season. Fly ball off deep in shallow center. Everybody running in. That's going to drop. Morales will hold at first. I mean, he hit it right in the Bermuda Triangle.
They were playing deep. That's not the tying run at the plate. And the center fielder, Malik Smith, did not get a good read on it. You can see him saying, hey, I didn't see it. I didn't get a good read. Watch him out in center field. The big swing by Morales fools him. And now everybody trying to run this ball down. It's going to fall for a single. And the Blue Jays, just like that, bring the tying run to the plate.
So Morales out of the game. He gets a pinch hit single with 2 outs. Teoscar Hernandez takes over as a pinch runner at first base. 4 runs in here in the bottom of the 9th. It's an 8-6 game. Lourdes Carrillo Jr. is 0 for 4 so far. Swinging a high fly ball. Get up, ball. Get up, ball. Get out of here. And it's a tie game.
You saw it coming, didn't you? You had a feeling. Balls falling in there that shouldn't go in there. Walking guys, hitting guys. You give a team a chance, and the Blue Jays, who hit more home runs than anybody late in the game, used the home run to get back into this game and tie it up.
You made a great point about Romo sitting down there watching the start of this inning, thinking, I got the night off. He had worked 4 in a row. Kyle Snyder, the pitching coach, out.
How about Gurriel? It's almost like he was sitting on a breaking ball, got it on the inner half. And a long, majestic home run down the left field line. Tommy Pham could just sit there, and all he can do is sit there and watch.
Gurriel, the 8th Blue Jay to bat here in the 9th inning, and he ties it up with a 2-run home run. Danny Jansen hit a 3-run homer, and look at the joy in that dugout. Smoak hits it. Get out of here. This ball is up. Oh, my God. A walk-off home run. Oh, my.
Words cannot describe it. Smoak's been known to do that.
His 2nd walk-off home run of the season, the 5th for the Blue Jays. The 8th time they have gone back-to-back with home runs this season. And the Rays are shell-shocked.
I'm shell-shocked. 8-2 heading into the bottom of the 9th inning. Blue Jays not even sniffing a hit for a few innings. Score 7 to steal a win from the Rays. Looked like an off-speed pitch. Yeah, change-up out over the plate. Smokey recognizes it, and he's got that beautiful home run cut from the left side. It's down where he likes it. He just lifts that thing right out of here.
3 home runs in the inning, and look at Gurriel. He knows it's gone immediately.
And so does he.
Justin Smoak, his 2nd walk-off home run of the season, caps off a 7-run bottom of the 9th. Danny Jansen with a 3-run home run. Lourdes Gurriel with a 2-run home run. And Justin Smoak with his 25th home run of the season has walked off the Rays. What a comeback.
You know, it started with Smith getting it started, hitting that 3-1 fastball, getting the thing started with that double, and Smoak ended it with the long home run.
Let's check in with Arash Madani standing by with Justin Smoak.
Well, Justin, yesterday you said 25th home run doesn't really matter to me. 24. Hey, I appreciate that. You got me pretty good. You said 24, 28, it doesn't matter. 25 doesn't matter, but this 25th, how sweet does it feel?
Yeah, wow. I mean, those guys put up some huge at-bats there in the ninth against a really good pitching staff. So, you know, to get me up there, I feel like I was grinding all night and was able to come up big.
Justin, I mean, the inning was just insane. At 8-2, you couldn't have imagined you'd be up at the plate.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you never know in this game. I feel like when you think you're out of it, you still got a chance. So, like I said, those guys put up really big at-bats for us, and big homers, Gurriel, Jano, and just able to put the icing on the cake there at the end.
Was there a building of anticipation in the dugout as the inning was going on?
Maybe a little bit, but, you know, to see those guys go out there and have good at-bats like they did. I mean, J.D. Davis having that big at-bat, I mean, for young guys, go out there and do that, and just kept it going, man, kept the train moving.
You're an even-keeled guy who loves the big moment and loves the big home run. What was it like rounding the bases?
Oh, it's always great to hit a walk-off homer's great. You know, just the inning we had right there, to be able to come back right there, that's a hard way to win it, but we were able to get it done.
Got it done indeed. Justin, thanks.
Sorry.
Buck.
Thank you very much, Arash. The sixth time this season the Blue Jays have hit 4 home runs in a ball game. They score 7 in the ninth to win it. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central with Ken and Ibaka.